In this video, we want to look at reverse percentages, which is when we look backwards in time. Like in this example here, now only £220, there's 20% discount. What was the price of the original? What was it before the discount was taken off? Now, one way of looking at this is saying, okay, after a pay rise of 5% and a salary is £33,600. So if I start with an original amount of 5% and, sorry, of 100%, and I get a 5% pay rise, then I must have 105% of the original amount. So 105% is 33,600. Now what we can do is then we can take it back and find out, well, what's 1% then? And we do that by dividing by 105 to get here. We divide by 105. So to get to our answer, we also divide by 105. And so when we do that, 33,600 divided by 105 is £320. Now, the original amount was the original 100%. So, again, if I want to have 1% and I want to get 100%, I multiply by 100. And so we're going to do the same on this side as well. We're going to multiply by 100 and say then that's £32,000. That was the original pay. Or a company says it's reduced its carbon footprint by 60% to 42 tonnes per year. What was the company's yearly carbon footprint before the reduction? Okay, so if we think of the original amount as 100%, it's reduced it by 60%. That means there's 40% left now. So 40% is 42 tonnes. So what we can do then is we can find what 1% is. Or in this case, I'm actually going to find out what 10% is, because that's a nice number. Because that'll allow us to get 100% easily too. And this is kind of why I guess we could do this without a calculator if we needed to, if the numbers were nice enough. To go from 40 to 10, we divide by 4. So to go from 42, we divide by 4. And so 42 divided by 4 is 10.5, 10.5 tonnes. And then if I have 10% and I want 100, I'm going to multiply by 10. So let's do the same here. Let's multiply by 10. And so we get 105 tonnes. And so the original amount, a full 100%, was 105 tonnes. Again, we could do this by going back from 40% down to 1% and then to 100%. That's absolutely fine. But here this meant that I could do it without a calculator easily enough. There is a slightly quicker way that we can look at this. If we think of a pay rise of 5%, if we think about if I was getting that pay rise and what my multiplying factor would be, we've seen before that that's 1.05. And what we normally do to find out what a new pay rise, to increase something, is we multiply by 1.05. However, we're going backwards in time. We want to find out what the pay was before the rise. So instead of multiplying by 1.05, what we can do is say, okay, 33,600, instead of multiplying by the multiplying factor, we're going to divide by it. And again, you can do that on the calculator, and we get £32,000 again. Or this time, if we wanted to reduce something by 60%, we would multiply by 0.4. The multiplying factor is 0.4. However, in this case, we're going backwards in time. So instead of multiplying by 0.4 as we would to go forwards in time, to go backwards in time, we divide by 0.4. And so 42 divided by 0.4 is equal to, and we're going to get the same answer as the last time, it's 105 tonnes. But this way is quite nice because you use the multiplying factor like we have in previous videos and previous methods. But you do need to remember that because we are going backwards in time, we need to divide by that multiplying factor. So work out what the multiplying factor would have been, and then instead of multiplying by it, divide by it. So if we go to this question that we started with at the front, the first slide, What's the price of the original? There's 20% discount. So if I was multiplying that, I would say, okay, that's at 0.8. If 20% has been lost, the multiplying factor is 0.8. But because we're going back in time, we want to find the original amount. It's 220 divided by 0.8. And when we do that, we get £275. Or alternatively, a slightly longer way, but just as good, we're saying then if there's 20% discount, then there must be 80% left. So 80% is 220. 1% is 220 divided by 80, which is 2.75, 2.75. And so 100% is multiplied by 100, £275. And we get the same answer either way.